From Amateur Radio Newsline Report, number 2141. These are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, November 14th, 2018. First up this week, an update on a recent story about the prospect of an unmanned international space station. That's not going to happen after all. Newsline anchor Stephen Kinford, N8WB.
Russian space officials announced this month that 3 new crew members are scheduled to launch on December 3rd atop a Soyuz rocket, bringing cosmonaut Oleg Kononenko, RN3DX, NASA's Anne McClain, and Canada's David St. Jacques, KG5 FYI, to the space station. Concerns were raised on October about the immediate future of having a crew aboard the ISS and amateur radio on the International Space Station, after launch issues with the Soyuz spacecraft on October 11th forced an emergency landing in Kazakhstan. The present crew members on board the ISS are scheduled to return to Earth next month. ARISS is waiting on further developments.
The FCC is retiring its present version of the Commission Registration System, also known as CORS. Again, Stephen Kinford.
As of March 1st of next year, anyone applying for an FCC Federal Registration Number, or FRN, must first create a username and password on the system before they can receive the FRN itself. And that's already the case, but on the new CORS website, anyone who already has an FRN from the old Commission Registration System will need to create a username to continue managing it under the new system. You can find the website using the URL included in the text version of this report. This is especially important for volunteer examiners while administering amateur radio license exams. FRNs are used in place of Social Security numbers. An FRN is required for everyone using this system. All hams who are already licensed and wishing to conduct business with the FCC, such as renewing their license or changing their address, also need to be registered properly through the new Commission Registration System, so they have access to the online universal licensing system. It should also be noted that individuals with a new FRN will be able to log into the FCC's universal licensing system and set their preferences from receiving electronic copies of their documents to getting them on paper by postal mail if desired.
Finally this week, we all know that getting on the air without a license is not legal. That's true even for the local traffic cops.
Hams are not the only ones who can get in trouble for not having an appropriate and valid FCC license. Take the case of the Buckeye Lake Police Department in Ohio. Village officers have been writing speeding tickets, as police are known to do, for any motorist driving in excess of the 35-mile-per-hour village limit. But apparently, every ticket that's been handed out since 2013 has been unlawful, according to Buckeye Lake Police Chief Vicki Wardlow. The chief told the village council members at a meeting in October that the department's license with the FCC expired in 2013, which means the radar guns used to measure the speed of motorists whizzing by cannot be calibrated for use. No one applied to renew the license, so the tickets issued in the past 5 years simply aren't valid, she said. She told the council that the law requires the department to have that license in order to operate both its radar units and its radios. That means the department cannot write valid tickets, at least for now. A new license could cost anywhere from $840 if she files the application herself, or a total of $1,400 if the village outsources the process, and that license would not expire for another 10 years. It was unclear what penalty, if any, would be assessed for the department's 5 years of unlicensed operation. The village's clerk-treasurer, Rochelle Minigan, said the police department's budget has the funds to cover the cost of a new license, and so, presumably, it will apply as quickly as possible for its FCC license, but of course, at a speed within the legal limits. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Stephen Kinford, N8WB, Andy Morrison, K9AWM, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.